Housing in Canada is so expensive. If you're not careful, you might end up spending, if not all of your paycheck, or let's say half of your paycheck, on your monthly housing bills. Like, yeah. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long that I filmed a video, and today I'm just going to be talking about housing. Housing, how expensive and even difficult to get an affordable housing here in Canada. So it's not like it's that like 100% bad. Like, I am being very positive about the country that I live in. I love this country a lot. But yes, you need to be very strategic. That's why they call it a developed country, not a developing country. It means you need to literally strategize a lot of things. So welcome to the Newcomer Series, and this is the first episode. Yeah, this is a pretty chill. I'm just like relaxing on my chair. So, and I'm just like bringing back to memory how it was like when we first landed in Canada. What a beautiful thing. I think like one of the favor that we enjoyed, or one of the blessings, many blessings that we enjoyed, is that we had a family member and we were able to stay with them for a couple of months before we moved into our house. And I remember that when we started searching for house, we thought it was just like go on internet. Like, I'm Nigerian. You guys all know I am Nigerian, and I literally felt like in Nigeria, it's still a little bit challenging to get that house of your choice, especially when you're working with budget. But it's not entirely very difficult, because the thing again is that once you get a house, you only pay once a year, and that's all. You're good until next year. But lo and behold, when I got to Canada, we were asked to pay not just the regular a year, 1 year. It's monthly. Like, it all looks really good. Like, I feel like it's not a big deal until when you start paying it every month, that you know that it's actually a big deal, because as you're collecting your paycheck, your landlord in court is also expecting his paycheck. And you can't really blame them, because it's like a circle. So you pay your landlord, and your landlord or the house owner will pay his mortgage or a mortgage. So, it's a circle. It's not like somebody's trying to make money off you. It's like this guy is also, or this person is also paying somebody else. You get what I mean? So let me take you back to the story. So I remember when we decided on the city that we're going to settle in, and we started looking for accommodation. I thought it was going to so easy. Then we had someone who was also helping us. Guess what they were asking us for? They were literally asking us for every information you can ever imagine. Number one, some are even so considering. Some were even asking us about our immigration status. Like, are you a student? Are you a permanent resident? Are you a refugee? They will not like ask you directly, because I think it's actually against the law. But here you are, they're asking you codedly. Another thing, they're also asking you what's the family size, how many of you are moving into the house. I feel like that's not a bad question to ask, but some can even get as detailed as how many kids you have, do you have, what's that the ages. That aside, another thing they were asking us, that they were also asking us, what do you do, what's your occupation, because we're like, it's not even about the first month, it's about, will you be able to pay us down to lane. They were asking us, what do you do, what's your job, and we're like, we're new, we just came to Canada. We're new. And somebody even asking us like, where this call, like, these questions were so strange. I really did not know. Like, I know in Nigeria, people just ask you for a few questions like, what do you do? But it's not like a big deal. It's not so determinant. It was more about, do you have the money to pay? Because you're paying 1 year, and that's all. Like, your homeowner will not have any business to do with you or until another year. So I feel like there's not too much things to ask. But here in Canada, your landlord, permit me to use the word landlord, I can't find the right word, right? So your homeowner will have to deal with you every month. We have to deal with you every month. We both have to deal with each other every month. So yeah, you can't really blame them. So, but the questions were really strange. Number one, when they started asking us for credit score, we said we're new. We don't have credit score. We haven't even built any credit score, And I remember how it was so difficult to actually get a house. Apart from the fact that housing is actually very expensive, it was also very difficult to get a house. Guess what? Before we found one space, before we found our first house that we rented, we viewed close to 30. Now, when I say we view close to 30, I'm not even exaggerating because we view close to 30. At a point, it was so challenging that I said, "Oh God, I need to start praying about this thing, because this thing is becoming a what? A prayer point." Because how can you view 30 houses? I know part of the 30 houses, number one, is that sometimes they were so good, sometimes they were not a very good place. Because apart from the fact that you're actually paying money, do you know that it's also like the structures were also a bit challenging? So when I got to Canada, I found that, it's not just house, you're not just renting house, there are different types of house, which is normal, but the normalcy can be abnormal. Like you see some houses, you be like, excuse me, what point are you driving? You started seeing houses like there's a basement, there's condo, there's apartment, there's townhouse, there's XYZ. And then you're like, okay, even in that apartment, there are also different types of apartment. There are apartments that have a main entrance of their own. There's also an apartment that you are the person staying in the house. Like basement is, they have a big building up and there's a basement. Like there's a basement under. I don't know how better to explain it. So like you have to share the same entrance as the person living upstairs. And then we find out that the ones that have a separate entrance can even be more expensive than the one that you actually have to share. Then they're also like apartment building, and you're wondering, okay, apartment building, that's not a bad idea, but it can really be a bad idea when the apartment is about 10, 20, floors, and you're wondering, excuse me, excuse me. I'm not even about the floors alone, but you're also talking about the numbers of apartments. So I remember there was this apartment that myself and my husband we checked, and guess what? They were about. It literally looks like a hotel. Yeah, it literally looks like a hotel. Apart from the fact that it's actually very tall, like there are so many floors in there. It's also the fact that, okay, you need to use elevator, which is not a bad idea. But when your apartment building is really looking like, I'll see if I can get pictures, on the internet that I can actually attach to this frame. Okay. So when you were asking all of those questions, and clearly, we do not have credit score, and we do not have a job at that point. So they're like, we're not sure if we can take you because we feel like it feels like you're not financially stable. Right? After taking 30 houses, it was so stressful. I'm not even going to lie. It was really stressful, like going from one house to the other, checking, then you're asking. So apart from the fact that you're even paying for houses, you also need to check for some other things like the utilities, because I thought that if they've charged you this amount of money, why are they also going to charge you more? So you're going to see some different factors that look similar to the IELTS that we've written. So funny enough, we've seen some houses that will say that, with this house, the different packages, like, okay, with this house, all utilities are being paid. You don't need to bother about utilities. So utilities are basically your water, I hope I remember because I don't deal with it. It's my husband. So your hydro, your water, and your gas. I hope so. So your water, your hydro, and your gas. I hope I'm correct. So there's some houses that will say that, you already have the water, in your bills. You don't need to pay for water. There's some houses that they will say they already have your gas. You don't need to pay for gas and all of that. And you're like, even after, like, I remember 2-bedroom apartment was going for, as at the time that we wanted to rent, was going for as high as 2,500. Yes, 2,500 Canadian dollars every month. Seriously, it's like moving from, like in Nigeria, we pay about $500 a year to moving to $2,500 every month. And that's why if you have any sibling abroad, instead of you billing and billing, you need to also PT them, because these guys are actually paying a lot for their living expenses, and it's not like you're actually earning like times 10, every month. You get what I mean? Or even times 5 every month, or even times 3 every month, like after tax, right? So, where I am. Where am I? Okay. So there's some houses that they will say, oh, it has like recreational center, you have swimming pool and all of that. At that point, I'm like, well, forget about all the bonus and the pros and the cons. All I wanted is just a good house to live in with a considerable billing. So I remember that our first apartment that we got was we paid $2,000 every month. And that actually included all of our utilities. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, we didn't have to pay anything. Included all of our utilities, our water, all of our utilities like water, gas, I think electricity as well. So another thing again is that the house also came with parking. So just like when you were writing IELTS, funny enough, like houses in Canada, it's not automatically it will come with parking. Some they will give you one parking, and the one some will ask you that you're going to be paying for your parking. Like they will give you one, some will give you one parking. If you have two cars, they will say you have to pay for the parking, the second car. And some will even tell you there is no parking, you need to pay for your parking. And parking is not cheap. Like guys, parking is not cheap. Parking can be as high as $70, $90 every month. Not every year, every month. Yeah, every month. Yeah, even the ones that you have to pay utilities, your utilities bill can be as much as $150 every month. You were very fortunate. You see a two-bedroom apartment for 1,800, or like maybe, yeah, I think most a typical apartment two-bedroom would be about 1.6, 1.618, depending on the city. And imagine paying like 1.8. Let's say you even paid 1.8. You're paying utilities. We paid 2,000, and came with free parking. But let's say you have to pay parking, you have to pay utilities. You can see the amount of money your living expenses is going to go, and that hasn't included food and all of that, right? So another thing I also want to talk about is like I also remember that when we got apartments, it wasn't first living, it did not come with in-suite washer and dryer. So there was a central one, the central washer per floor, where it was like I think it was about fourth floor or three floor. Yeah, I think three floor, right? So every floor has their washer. So we were all sharing washer and dryer, which is not a big deal because everybody's super clean. So the only thing is that even though we were sharing, washer and dryer is not free. You also need to still pay. So I remember we were paying coin like 0.50, like 50 cents every load that you load. You see what I'm saying. So don't think that if you're watching from like any other country, it's really a lot living outside the country. So yeah, I think that's all. Like, so accommodation is not that like fingertip. It does require, it comes with a lot of trade-off. Sometimes you need to trade your convenience for some other perks. Yeah, I mean, we left there because we eventually got a new, like we got a better one, the one that we currently live in, and it was a better deal. And at that point we've had our credit score, we have a job, so we're not like at the messes of homeowners, because when we first came we're the messes of homeowner because we don't have all of the requirements they needed to give you a house. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you guys in my next video. Bye, baby. Oh yeah.